Okie dokie, boys and girls. So it is day 4 of overcoming my injuries, and well, it's leg day, but you just saw some one-arm pull-ups. What the hell is going on, right? And well, it's because I'm starting to grease the groove on one-arm pull-ups. So actually, this morning I forgot to do my reps because it's not yet really a habit, but I'm gonna try to do some one-arm pull-ups throughout the day, every day. And basically, greasing the groove is a method where you will do a certain movement multiple times a day at a very low intensity, maximum 50% of your intensity. And basically, by doing the movement a lot, you become very strong at it, right? Because you're learning the movement pattern. And so, even on leg day, I will do some pull ups to basically enforce the pattern into my back so that eventually I can get those 10 one arm pull ups. But, other than that, we still have leg day to do today. And the reason I'm introducing this grease the groove is because I need some replacement. As you know, I am injured in my ankles, and so especially the running is very difficult. In fact, this morning I tried to run 5 kilometers straight, for the first time in a couple of days. And guess what? Right now I am having a little bit more pain than I was this morning, than I was yesterday. And so it's really starting to hit me. I'm gonna have to be patient. And that's oftentimes the case, right? When you're injured, you just have to be patient. And it's more easily said than done, right? Because we all wanna train, we love training. Like you can't imagine how much energy I have at the moment that I'm not able to spend on a daily 10-kilometer run. It's insane. I want to go hard on my training. I want to go hard on my leg days, but I can't. I have to be patient. And so what helps with being patient is to replace some of the training. Replace the gap from the training that you can't do anymore, and do something else. Replace it with something else, right? In my case, the pull-ups, and it doesn't have to be as intense as your previous training because well, you want this extra energy in order to recover. Right? You want to feel this burn, you want to feel this urge to train again because that's going to keep you going. But at the same time, right, if I have to think about, I can't run 5 kilometers straight, right? If I have to think that every day, right, that's a negative thought. It's gonna, eventually catch up to me. I'm gonna be sad about it because, well, I am sad about it, right? But in order to kind of match that sadness a little bit, you can give yourself something positive, right? Something that you can succeed in. For me, the one arm pull up, right? For you, it might be something else. And that way it will be a bit easier to be patient, right? Because even though I can't run and I want to run so badly, at least I have something else going on. And so it's going to be easier to then say to yourself, like, hey, keep it off, stay at bay a little more until the pain is truly gone. So that's what I'm focused on at the moment. One arm pull-ups done. Probably I'll do one more set at the end of the training, greasing the groove. And well, in the meantime, let's do some leg day. So it's gonna be the usual menu of 200 squats and then some push-ups as well. That's just my daily habit at the moment, or I'm trying to turn it into a daily habit. I guess I can't really call it a daily habit after 4 days yet, but after that's done, I am gonna do one more set for my hamstrings, and well, if you've been watching the channel, you already know what it is, but I will explain it anyway once we are done with the first part of this workout. So let's go. All right, I forgot. It's leg day. I'm allowed to do a little bit harder stuff than the usual daily limit. So usually I do 200 squats, 5 sets of 40. I'm gonna see if I can do sets of 50 today. The first one was 40 though. Perhaps at the end I'll have to do 60. But anyway, something more difficult than I usually do because that's how you get stronger. Jesus Christ. I remember saying on the first day it's not good to max out every day, and This is not my complete max to failure, but it might be quite close. But hey, today is a leg day. I'm allowed. Alright, time for part 2 of the workout, some Nordic curls. If you've watched the channel, you know that this is basically my favorite movement to get strong hamstrings. And you know, when it comes to running, hamstrings are quite useful. So this exercise does complement running. However, you have to be kind of careful with how much you do because it also puts a lot of pressure on your tendons, on your hamstrings, of course, on your calves. So if you do it too much, it's actually gonna hinder your running because you're gonna be too tired. But you know, ever since I've come back from Japan, I've just been doing this exercise one time a week, one hard set, and I've been getting stronger. You know, I'm not at my peak strength yet, but I feel like if things are going the way that they have been going, I'll get quite close. So what I'm gonna do today is aim for 10 reps on the Nordic curl. Last week I got 8 reps, so 10 would be, you know, a nice little improvement. And if I can get, you know, 10 reps or more, perhaps next time I'll be doing it weighted. So that's very exciting. But anyway, if you want to unlock the Nordic curl and, you know, get some striated hamstrings, then basically how you can get started, because it's a difficult movement, right? It's a difficult movement. You're not going to be able to do it if you've never done it before. You can just use your finger assistance. So I'm using my fingers here to warm up. But the important part is not, you know, how much can I push from my fingers, but how much can I pull from my hamstring. So I'm just putting my fingers here and pulling as much as possible with my hamstrings. And then if you progress, you can use less fingers like this, and eventually, you know, use your pinkies. And so I'm gonna finish my warm up, and then, well, let's skip straight to the main set, shall we? Oh, fuck you. Okay, when you start blacking out, that's when you know that there is no single rep lift, not a single rep. Holy smokes. Okie dokie, so that's gonna be it for today's workout, aside from some rehab exercises that I'm gonna do, just, you know, after I rested up a little bit. But, you know, actually during the warm-up of the Nordic curls, I found some stuff, you know, some fun stuff that I can challenge myself to do next leg day. So, yeah, I'm excited to show that next time. It's gonna be part of the leg day. But, you know, like I mentioned in the beginning, you know, at the moment, I am unable to run. When I do like 1 minute walking, 1 minute jogging intervals, that's fine. So I feel like, you know, I should just stick to that for a moment, you know, keep the promise to myself to do that for like 1 week and then see what happens. Because, you know, yesterday I felt a little bit better, and today I decided to basically YOLO it and run 5 kilometers straight, which didn't end up well. You know, it's not hurting too bad, but it's certainly worse than yesterday, which is not supposed to happen. So I'm gonna keep the promise to myself, stay patient, but in the meantime, I'm starting to discover more and more stuff that I am able to do instead of the running, you know, and that's what it's all about. Because when you find stuff that you are able to do, you can focus on progressing again. You can focus on the positive stuff, and that positive mindset will also lead to whatever injury or setback you have to heal, right? So let's stick to it. Day 4. I think we have quite a lot more days to go, but I'm excited to get stronger, to be healed, and then to run some serious mileage. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for a push day. Yes.